Greetings, playful, restless, curious Gemini. My name is Eliane Nicole. I'm an astrologer and tarot card reader, and now I'm going to do the November 2020 forecast for the sign of Gemini. And I'm going to start out with a tarot reading, and then in the second half of the video, I'm going to talk about some of the planetary transits for Gemini for November 2020. I encourage you to follow me on Instagram at astrology.tarot, excuse me, .Eliane Nicole, because there I will be doing more regular, up-to-date posts about the transits and the of the planets. But I don't have time to go through them all here, but this is going to give you a good overview, and I encourage you to watch the videos for your sun, moon, and rising as well. But the best is always when you book a direct transit reading or birth chart reading or tarot reading with me. So as we enter the month of November, Gemini, you have the Queen of Pentacles. So we see a woman who has money, finances, business, practical matters. This could be a woman who is being very generous at this time. This is a woman who is confident in her vision, and she is responsible and dutiful and well respected and all of these things. And we are covered by the Five of Pentacles. So it looks like there's someone who has experienced maybe a financial or a spiritual injury. It could be somebody, it could be you, or it could be someone close to you when it's in that position. And you were crossed by the King of Pentacles. And so this is a man and a business or finance situation that looks like it needs to be worked out and worked through in the month of November. And so yes, right at the crux of the matter, we see a man and a woman working out a financial agreement of some kind, or a business. It could be a business agreement, it could be a contractual agreement. In some cases, this is a husband and wife. In some cases, this is people forming a business situation with each other, or who have an already formed situation where there's something worked out. And the basis. So this is justice reverse. So the basis of this all has to do with inequality, possibly, and maybe you were trying to bring fairness or balance to a situation. And also it could just have the themes of injustice or inequality around it in some other way. This is all very archetypical, so it's going to manifest for different Geminis in different ways. Another thing, if there is, it could feel like things are unfair, and if there is a literal court case happening, it could mean that it's not in your favor, or somebody feels like it's unfair, like they're not getting their fair share. What's leaving is a man, a fiery man of action. What could come into being is the Three of Swords reversed. This looks like healing. What will come into being is the Six of Pentacles. So this looks like around mid-month, the contract or negotiation is worked out. It looks like there is a financial disbursement or award of some kind. And fears or insecurities, the Six of Cups reversed. So this could have to do with a friendship. Maybe a friend is hurt. Maybe a friend has hurt your feelings. It has to do with friends and feelings and intimacy. Others see you, the Two of Cups reversed. This could be breaking up from a relationship. This could be not seeing eye to eye with your lover. This could mean that your lover's feelings are hurt. This could be that people see you hurt by your lover's feelings or something like that. Positive feelings, the Five of Cups reversed. Again, this is another card about healing. Healing around the end of the month. Somebody, it looks like you are healing from a disappointment, and you are appreciating, you're in a place of gratitude and, just being in gratitude for what is the full cups of the situation instead of focusing on the empty cups of the situation. And then the outcome, beautifully, Gemini, at the end of November is the Star. I love this. This is faith in the divine plan. This is higher consciousness. This is enlightenment. And this is happening this is your full moon prenumbral lunar eclipse card. So, it looks like by the end of the month, you go through some things, but by the end of November, things are definitely on, the upswing. We're heading towards the incline, Gemini. And, that eclipse is your eclipse. It is in your sign. So it is in your first house. And I guess now it's time to talk about the planets. I kind of just skipped to the end right away when I saw that happening for you. But that is your eclipse, so it is an important aspect for you because that eclipse is in your first house. And the first house is on the axis with the 7th house, of course. The 7th house is the house of relationships, and the first house is the house of the self, the body, the identity, the vibration. And so eclipses, which again, I'm starting at the end of November right now. November 30th is the eclipse. They can bring up the shadow in ourselves or in others. But you look like you're in a really great place at that time. So I'm going to go back to the beginning of the month now, which is November 1st. And we are just coming off the full moon, blue moon in Taurus. And so we were expecting a surprise as that full moon, blue moon was conjunct Uranus, the planet that often brings shakeups and gives us a jolt to, help us grow and push, jolt us out of our comfort zone in a certain area of our lives. For Gemini, this happened in the house of hidden karma, a very mysterious house. As we enter November 1st, we're still under the influence of this blue moon because the moon has progressed from 8 degrees Taurus, where it bloomed, to it's now at 16 degrees Taurus as we enter the month. So we're still feeling that energy. It's rarefied air. It's once in a blue moon activity happening. And it's also, we're in the period of the Day of the Dead. So this is the time of the year where the veil is the thinnest between the two realms. And, the ancestors are near. They're speaking to us. They're in our dreams. We had the Halloween celebration, the Dia de los Muertos celebrations are going on. And, and we're honoring, we're paying homage to the ancestors. And November 3rd, Mercury goes direct on election day, which if you've been watching my videos, you know that I think that means we don't find out who wins on election day. Mercury has been retrograde for the 3 weeks leading up, meaning that things have probably been getting lost in the mail. There's probably miscounts happening, errors, mistakes, technological glitches, all of that is sure to have been transpiring during the Mercury retrograde period. And so when it stations, that's when we feel the energy the strongest. So once it starts moving forward, things are going to start to clear up and be worked out. But I believe, looking at the astrology of it now, that we don't find out a clear and definite answer of who the president is until around November 20th. November 9th is Dia de los Muertos. November 9th, Ceres enters Pisces. Dios de los Muertos was on the beginning of the month. But when Ceres enters Pisces, this is a time to be nurturing your career and attainment. And for those of you who don't have a career, this is also the house of reputation. And this area of your life needs some tender love and care, Gemini. And so Ceres, as it leaves Aquarius and goes into Pisces, it's going to be crossing your midheaven, meaning this is an important point for you to give some tender love and care to this area of your life. Let others nurture you as well in this area of your life. And there's going to be an opportunity to really nurture and cultivate your vision too, which I'll talk about. But Ceres and Neptune are going to both be active in that house in November. Neptune more towards the end of the month, so I'm going to come back to that. But November 10th, Mercury enters Scorpio. So Mercury is now direct, and we're starting to clear up any of the miscommunications that happened, any of the backwards stuff that happened while Mercury was retrograde. It's moving into Scorpio now, which is the planet the sign it was when it went retrograde in the first place. So we're getting there. Now we may be reviewing some of the things that happened in the beginning of the Mercury retrograde, more around that week of October 13th, and clearing up communications or mistakes or mix-ups that happened in that area. So for you, in Scorpio, that would be Gemini, the house of health, the house of your daily routine, the house of your staff or employees, the house of small pets, and the house of service, wherever you are of service in your life. So those are areas to look at for where communication should start to be cleared up now that Mercury is back in Scorpio direct. November 12th, Jupiter conjunct Pluto. This is the third and final Jupiter conjunct Pluto of the year. This aspect has been closely mirroring the surges of COVID in America. And so we expect the third and final wave to be happening with this conjunction as well. I think this is going to be the worst of the waves because we're also experiencing the Mars and Aries square this time. That's for the collective. For Geminis in particular, this is going to be a time where the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction is happening for the third and final time of your 8th house. So the 8th house rules other people's money. So this could be your spouse's finances and resources, your parents' finances and resources. It's other people's money. So it could be wills, inheritances, loans, debts, settlements, alimony, any of those things. This is where the Pluto Jupiter conjunction is happening. This could be an expansion of wealth and or power for you. There could be a big transformational something that takes place. This is part of a larger story likely that has been unfolding for you throughout the year and is coming to a crescendo point. It will, however, be squared by Mars at this time. So that creates possibly a power struggle of some kind, possibly some tension that needs to be worked out. Mars for you is in the house of friends and business associates. So it could be that there is a financial situation with a friend or business associate where there's a push-pull tension that's coming to a head at this time of the year, that's been unfolding throughout the year, and it's finally going to reach the point where some kind of action needs to be taken for it to be resolved, or maybe this is the final test in the situation to see if you've integrated the lessons that you were supposed to be learning throughout the year. It's that kind of thing. So yeah, then Mars goes direct November 13th. And as Mars goes direct, you know, the things that we've been fighting for, hopefully we're going to start to be, we've been fighting over or having conflict around, they're going to slowly but surely start to resolve. It doesn't happen overnight. In fact, as Mars stationed might be when it gets the worst. But then it will start to be on the upswing. So just when things start to look like they're at the worst point, actually they're about to start improving. And November 14th is the new moon in Scorpio. That new moon in Scorpio is happening in the house of health, Gemini. So it's a great time to recommit to your health and fitness program and set intentions around that. It's also a time to set intentions around staff and employees if that's applicable for you. It's also a time to set intentions around where you're of service in the world, to your community, to your family, to the world at large. And then if you have any small pets or any desires for small pets, it's a good time to set intentions around that as well during the new moon of Scorpio. And you may be finding that there are already new starts that are emerging for you in that area of your life just because of the astrological timing. But it's good to set the very clear intentions of how we want that to bloom and manifest. And a new moon ritual every month is a really beautiful habit to start to really lock into, you know, step with Mother Nature and Mother Luna. And November 20th, Mercury is out of shadow. And when Mercury comes out of shadow, that means we will probably finally have cleared up communication about anything that went awry during the Mercury retrograde period. It comes out of shadow in your house of health. Or no, it comes out of shadow in your 5th house of no, sorry. It comes out of shadow in your 6th house of health. The Libra part is where it stations direct, which I feel like I didn't talk to you about too much, but when it stations direct for you, that's in your house of creative projects. It's also the house of children for those of you who have children. It's the house of joy, pleasures, and fun. And so, you know, that Mars is you know, been in a tense conversation with the 8th house planets of other people's money, and that 5th house, children, fun, creative projects. So, you know, yeah, I'm kind of like mixing around. I got a little bit mixed up there, but I just want to go into November 21st. Venus enters Scorpio. When Venus enters Scorpio, she's going to be entering your house of health again. And this is a very seductive Venus. This is a very sexy Venus. And we are attracted to Scorpio kind of themes during this period. It could be the darker side of things. It could be death. It could be power and influence. It could be mysteries that we are attracted to while Venus enters Scorpio. Or we could be attracted to mysterious, darker people during this time. Also on the 21st, and within our relationships, you know, if you're in a committed relationship, this could be a very sexy time. November 21st, the sun also enters Sagittarius. For Gemini, that's going to be in your house of relationships. And so the focus will be on relationships, partnerships, marriage during Sagittarius season for you. And November 28th, Neptune goes direct. Neptune has been an underrated player in the COVID situation. I believe that once Neptune starts going direct, we are finally on a slow upward climb towards coming out of the COVID cloud. I do not believe that we are out of the COVID cloud until March 21st, 2020, when Neptune is out of shadow. And I don't know whether that's because there's a vaccine at that time or a treatment. I can't see the exact details, but I just see the timing of that being when we're out of the COVID cloud so far. But keep following my videos, because as I keep studying the sky and as it keeps getting closer and closer, things start to come into focus more and more as I have time to spend more time with the planets. And also, finally, November 30th is the full moon and prenumbral lunar eclipse, which I actually started your reading with. It's in your sign. It's in your 1st house. This is a big and major turning point for Gemini, you know, and it's in there. It will be crossing over your North Node, which could mean that there could be some kind of worldly gain for you at the time when it crosses the North Node. Which will probably be the next day more, but it's going to be within this full moon phase. And, you know, it's also a time for, you know, modern astrologers and ancient astrologers look at those nodes a little bit differently. Perhaps it's a time to align with your dharma. Perhaps it's a time of worldly gain. Perhaps it's both. But it's a big moment for Gemini, as I've been saying, this whole kind of year and a half. With the nodes transiting Gemini, it is for all of us collectively. It's a big time for all of us to be integrating the Gemini lessons into our life, but for Gemini in particular, because it's happening in your 1st house of self. And so you are a sign that is experiencing it the strongest. So that is the overview for Gemini for the month of November. If you like this video, give me a like. If you didn't like it, give me a don't like. I hope you did like it though. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Please follow me on Instagram at astrology.tarot.Eliane Nicole, where I'll be doing more daily and weekly updates on the planetary transits and on the cards. And Of course, the best way to get the most out of the planets and the stars and the cards is to schedule your own reading. I read on Zoom. I can read for you anywhere in the world. You can keep a recording of the reading afterwards, and having an understanding of your chart, working with an astrologer and tarot reader on a regular basis, I believe can be just as effective, if not more, than therapy. I think for some people it's even a better mode of self-awareness and self-discovery and healing and understanding the experiences that have happened in your life and how they're unfolding and how to wield that energy. So I highly encourage you to reach out to me and schedule your own reading. And have a wonderful November, and congratulations for having made it through one of the most difficult years astrologically we've had, certainly in my lifetime, and I think in the lifetimes of most of the living people on planet Earth. And now we've made it through some of the most rough astrology of an already rough year, and we're up on, and we're heading towards the upswing. Not easy times. We've still got a lot to work out as a human collective, but we've made it through the most difficult parts of this year. So congratulations on that, Gemini. Have a good November. I am a nutter better. Love you, Gemini.